late. I got caught in a conversation with a teacher at drop off. But that's okay, because nobody was here waiting. So you all are just so busy living full lives and celebrating your Fridays. But anyway, the topic today is what it is like to be the perfect partner. Now, let's start off with what is the perfect partner? Nobody's perfect. Nikita, are you saying you're perfect? Are you saying anyone can be perfect? Are you saying that no one is to blame in a relationship? Yes and no. Yes and no. Um, and so, what I mean by the perfect partner is like someone that you would want to be with. Like if you feel like you are the total package and you're willing to put everything into a relationship that you want, then yeah, and we all have things that we can work on. But what makes someone ideal? Someone who can acknowledge that, someone who's self aware, and someone who will go after that and be accountable and not blame the other. Also, there are certain types of people, myself included, and it is a blessing and a curse. It is a blessing and a curse where you can almost fall in love with anybody. You can almost fall in love with anybody. Like you can see the good, you can see the beauty, you can see the talent, you can see the strengths, you can see the potential. And this is a blessing and a curse, right? Usually people like this, again, myself included, beautiful souls. Yes, girl. Beautiful souls, right? And you're willing to work with people and you're willing to communicate and you're aware that not everything comes easy. Like love shouldn't be hard, but two people with different background experiences and different expectations and different worldviews coming together to try to create a beautiful bond and partnership in any kind of way. Now, I'm specifically talking about romantic, but this could even be in friendship or if you're trying to like forge a business partnership, right? Where it's like you're willing to communicate, you're willing to cooperate, you're willing to ebb and flow, and you're like, I can see where you're coming from. And then you can still assert yourself. Like, let's say, at our big age, that you've even learned how to advocate for your own needs, but you can do that without putting the other person down. You don't steamroll. You're like, okay, I see you, I hear you. And also, or have you considered, and so you're doing that, you're putting that out, and you're kind of expecting or hoping that from the other person. And then even when they don't do that, you're able to step back and say, it's not you and me against each other. It's you and me against this problem. Hi, good morning. It's you and me against this problem. So let's see where the breakdown in communication is. Let's walk it back. And that sounds beautiful, right? And you see a need, you feel a need. Thank you. You're willing to meet the other person there again. Romantic, business, friendship. But what ends up happening when you're this person is sometimes you don't realize, baby, you are the love. You are the beauty. You are carrying this relationship. And if people like us, like you, if you're watching this and you relate, are not if we're not careful, you end up in sludge. You end up stuck. And I'm not calling the other person sludge. I'm saying like you just end up where it's harder than it has to be. And you're pulling and you're bartering and you're explaining and you're overworking. Sorry, I need a liner break. Hold on. I cannot I can't say anything too worthwhile while I do this. Gotta focus. Give me a moment. I thought I could, but I cannot. I can admit my limits. There we go. That's one eye. Um, good morning. Much love. Um, Thank you. And so that's just something that you have to watch out for. And that's something that I have to watch out for and realize you have to pause. When you are the ideal partner, when you're willing to put in a lot of work, You have to be very honest with yourself and decide, how much work do you want to put in? When is it time to say enough? And how much of the beauty and the peace and the love and the fun and the communication in this relationship is mutual, and how much is just you doing the heavy lifting and the other person just getting to benefit from your beautiful soul and all of the work that you've done, whether it's through therapy or just lived experience, taking notes and learning your lessons, whether it's through watching YouTube videos, whether it's through meditation and journaling, whatever it is, you put that work in. People are not just naturally born knowing how to communicate. Communication is one of the hardest frickin' skills. Oh, good. I'm glad, Haley. It's hard. You have to work. You have to work at it, and you have to. Thanks for subbing, Flory. And you have to be, there's a vulnerability which requires courage, and then there's like just all of the lovey-dovey cutesy stuff. That's thoughtfulness. Leaving notes, being out in the store and seeing a snack that you know that they like and you got it for them, or you notice that they're having a hard time and so you have it shipped to them, or you deciding to like rub their back or play in their hair. And it's so easy, right? When you love somebody, it's just natural. I just want to, and I just want to, and I got this for you, and I thought of you, and so it just feels like this fairy tale, and they might do that back, or they might do it a little bit, but you have to decide. You have to open your eyes. You have to open your eyes and see, how much of this fairy tale have I written, and they just kind of fill that character spot. They fill the role of partner number two. And I've done such a great job at creating the setting and writing the imagery and pushing the plot point. And they just get to be here. And as long as they don't screw up in a really catastrophic way, then they get to stay. But you have to realize that you deserve more than a place filler. You deserve to have a co-author. You deserve to have a co-star. You deserve to have someone helping you on the production team. You think that you've planned something and they show up with like, ta-da, I wrote episode number 7. You don't even know. You don't even know what's coming next. I did this for you. And you're like, what? What? So this isn't a romantic partner, and it's a very, very small example. But for instance, on Valentine's Day, I already decided that I was gonna like message a bunch of people in my life to tell them how much I love them and appreciate them. One of my really, really good friends, at like 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, I get an alert on my phone. She's already video messaging me. Happy Valentine's Day! I love you. Did you know you can get back on TikTok today? Bye, Haley. Have a good day. And I was just like, I'm sorry. I'm the lovey-dovey, wordsy friend. Am I receiving the love that I put out for people? Do I have a friend who loves me like this and is doing this for me? I love this for me. Like what? Those are the type of people that you should have. Getting to know someone special at a time, and they came to visit and noticed my shoes were all over my closet floor, and then sent me a shoe rack after they left. Actually, after they left, it was like the 12 days of Christmas. I just kept getting like these little, and they weren't necessarily extravagant, but they were very thoughtful and specific to our time together. And it was just so adorable and sweet. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? you know? But you have to be able to stop and look and think, okay, what's really happening here? Am I creating this land of love that they get to benefit from, and that even I am kind of falling into this delusion and illusion? Or are they really contributing here? And then even to think about that because every relationship is going to have a challenge. Challenges, plural, right? So how do you navigate challenge together? Again, that's when you have to think, am I over explaining myself? Am I overly coming to the table? Am I willing to overly bend and accommodate this person and meet this person where they are at? Am I giving up of myself in order to make this work for the peace, because I like having it here and I can make it work with anybody? Are you the type of person who can make it work with anybody? And so when that happens, we have to realize that, okay, just because I can doesn't mean that I want to. Imagine your future life, your dream situation, your dream partner, your dream friend, your dream business partner, whatever, your dream romance, and think of that dynamic. Every time you come to a conflict, is this how you envision it having to play out, where you're always the one having to handhold and to walk them through? Because newsflash, you can think that maybe they'll get more secure or more mature or more considerate, but why would they, babe? If you're always going to do it, why would they? They don't have to. You're going to facilitate the conversation. And they may. People grow, people change. But who among us has not fallen victim to the, well, one day maybe they'll change. And then they don't. And then they don't. And you have fallen prey to what is called sunken fallacy. And that is basically, well, we've come this far. I would hate to leave now after I've invested this much time. And that could be with a business. That could be with an investing situation. That could be with a relationship. That could be with a church. It's just the sunken, is it sunken fallacy syndrome? Sunken fallacy cost? Just sunken fallacy. Like, you've already lost this much. You've already put this much into it. I would hate to go back after we've worked this hard. Okay, so leave. Because you'll just keep working hard. And instead of the 2 years that you've put into it, or the 6 months, it could be 6 years. It could be a decade. And you're still waiting. And you're settling for breadcrumbs. And here's the thing. They may not be a bad person. Okay? I know I'm kind of making them out to sound like that. They may not be a bad person. They might just not be the best fit for you. There are so many traits that we can have as people that don't make us bad people. They don't make us bad partners. They just make us different. And you have to decide, is this a difference you want to live with? Is it good for you? Does it mesh with you? So for instance, I make social media content. So sometimes when I'm out and about, I might snap a couple pictures or get a couple video clips or whatever for B-roll footage to use later as a short or whatever. That's not inherently bad. I don't do it to the detriment of my connections with people. I still try to experience life and be present in the moment. There's so many things I don't get shots of because I was just living it, But it will happen occasionally. That doesn't make me bad. However, there are some people out there who would probably be so annoyed by that. So annoyed, or even kind of like, oh my gosh, you're doing your little social media thing again. Now that's actually bad because that's like snarky. You don't need to be demeaning or whatever. But instead of getting to that place where it comes out and now you're making little snide comments, because if it's in here, it's going to come out eventually, some way, some form. We try to hide it. It doesn't work. It's going to come out. Instead of doing that, you could just acknowledge, ooh, I don't love that for me. I'm going to go. I can respect you and your personhood and your differences and your likes and know that you're not a bad person and know that it's actually just not great for me. I'm going to go. So yeah, just being able to acknowledge that. Think of what you want, what you really want, and don't settle. Don't settle. Don't create the fairy tale by yourself. Create the fairy tale. Have the fairy tale as much as it can be. Life is real for sure. It's hard, but like, I just, it's something that I have to look out for, and I know so many others do as well. You don't want to fall into the trap of writing the love story, writing the loving dynamic, and getting so swept away in the moment and all of this that you've created because you are really good at seeing things through rose colored glasses and you're really good at extending grace to other people and seeing the best in them and working things through. Don't get so caught up in that you fail to stop and realize this other person's not really co-starring with me. This other person just kind of gets to show up and ride along and benefit. And that is the danger of being the perfect partner. And again, nobody's perfect per se, but like I personally hold the belief if you can communicate, you can get through anything. Two people who really love each other, who vibe, who gel, who see the best in each other, who appreciate each other. Most of the times, you're not out to harm each other, right? Why would you want to hurt this person? You're not out to harm each other. So if one of you upsets the other, there's likely a miscommunication that happened here. Either I touched a little bruise, an emotional trigger that I didn't know was there that you can explain to me, or I said something in a way that you didn't appreciate, but it's not what I meant, or I didn't provide context or whatever. Let's scale all that back and find out where we went wrong, and then we can kiss and make up. And you can work through anything just about if you can communicate. The problem with being a really, really good communicator and a good-hearted person who really just wants to love on the people that they love is you will do this to your detriment. You will do this to your detriment if you don't realize that the other person is not necessarily willing to bend for you. And you might not see it as it won't present always that they're not willing to bend for me. What it could look like is their feelings are just always hurt. And they're always so hurt that they just, well, just explain it to me. And you're always having to explain yourself. You're always having to explain yourself. You're always having to apologize. You're always having to walk it back and figure it out and peel it back. And the other person is maybe not as willing or as able to do the same for you. And you're always having to go to them. And hurt is valid. I get hurt. It's a real feeling. We're born with the ability to feel hurt, to feel sad, to feel offense. So I'm not demonizing that either, but when your level of hurt and your lack of ability, I guess, to think critically and even forgivingly and lovingly makes it so that your partner is always having to kind of come to you and, oh baby, I'm so sorry. I would never want to do that to you. What? If you're having to do that all the time, that gets miserable. And you don't realize, but over time, it chips away at you. It chips away at your identity. You feel it slowly conditions you to maybe be less and smaller in some areas because you don't want to offend. You're taking all of these notes as a good partner would. You're taking all of these notes. Oh, last time I said this like this, that hurt them. Last time I didn't think about this, that, wound up like this. Oh, they don't feel thought of when I do this. Blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a barrier. Oh, don't do that. Oh, don't, because you're trying to consider so much, and if the other person's not willing to meet you. But again, if you are the perfect partner, you will love them and you will see all of the good in them and you will understand why that hurt them. You will, it makes sense. It makes sense. I get it. And they explained it to me, and so I don't want to do this. And you just want to love them, because why wouldn't you want to be their safe space? Why would you not want to be their safe space? You love them. As we do. But then you don't realize that you've clipped your own wings a little bit. And so that's that. You don't want to love others so much that you fail to really love yourself. You fail to allow yourself the space to shine and to fly. Don't get caught in sunken fallacy and realize, because you can make it work with anyone, go find another anyone. I make it sound like it's so easy, right? Especially when we don't leave our houses. But, and this is a decision you have to make for yourself. Would you rather be, and I hate the phrase like be by yourself, as if friends don't exist. Friends exist. Romantic love is not all there is, you know? Or even business partners or other friends. Like there are so many bright minds. There are so many other like-minded people that you could link up with in other ways. The world is so abundant. Are there like 8 billion people on the planet now or more? Is it 9 yet? Jeez, we are overcrowded. Anyway, there's just so many people. Don't get fixated. They're not the only one. And it can feel like it. Oh, it can feel like it. Oh, we love them. It's so beautiful. But it's, let it go. Let it go. If this live is resonating with you, if you are, how is it to be married? If this live is resonating with you, you will be able to fall in love again. You might not want to, but you have the capability. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. That's the whole thing, is for me to tell you and remind you and me, you are the prize. You are the prize, and you create the romance, and you can recreate a romance. Hey, Ethan, I am very, very close to being divorced. Divorce should be final in like the next 2 weeks, guys. I'm planning how to celebrate. If you have any ideas, drop them in the comments. Marriage is the best of times and the worst of times. Depending, how is it to be married? The experience is different for men and women. The experience is different age groups. The experience is different if you marry your spouse inside of a cult or out of a cult. The experience is different depending on how you found one another, your dynamic. Like, how is it to be married? That's like asking, how is it to be alive? Everybody's experience is different. Thank you for the congrats. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go. But I just wanted to speak on this morning. If you found this valuable, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I talk about all sorts of random stuff. So much random. But yeah, anyway, happy Friday. If you haven't listened to Montel Jordan's This Is How We Do It, I suggest you do that. It's a vibe on Fridays. Till next time, stay safe and stay free. Every day is a good day to not be in a cult. Bye.